All right. Yeah, this come up on my YouTube. Apparently, these two have had a full blown argument. Apparently, Trump kicked him out. So, yeah, let's see how this. Oh yeah, I saw this come up. I thought we got to do this. Um. So yeah, Trump versus Zelensky. Let's go.
He broken this ceasefire. He killed our people and he didn't exchange prisoners. We signed the exchange of prisoners, but he didn't do it. What kind of diplomacy, JD, you are speaking about? What do you mean?
I'm talking about the kind of diplomacy that's going to end the destruction of your country.
Yes, but if you
Mr. President, with respect, I think it's disrespectful for you to come into the Oval Office and try to litigate this in front of the American media. Right now, you guys are going around and forcing conscripts to the front lines because you have manpower problems. You should be thanking the President for trying to bring an end to this conflict.
Have you ever been to Ukraine that you say what problems we have?
I have been to.
Come once.
I've actually watched and seen the stories, and I know what happens is you bring people, you bring them on a propaganda tour, Mr. President. Do you disagree that you've had problems bringing people into your military? And do you think that it's respectful to come to the Oval Office of the United States of America and attack the administration that is trying to prevent the destruction of your country?
A lot of questions. Let's start from the beginning.
Sure.
First of all, during the war, everybody has problems, even you, but you have nice ocean and don't feel now, but you will feel it in the future. God bless.
You don't know that.
God bless. God bless. You will not have a war.
Don't tell us what we're going to feel. We're trying to solve a problem. Don't tell us what we're going to feel.
I'm not telling you.
Because you're in no position to dictate that.
That's
Remember
exactly what
this. You're in no position to dictate what we're going to feel. We're going to feel very good.
You will feel influence.
We're going to feel very good and very strong.
You will feel influence.
You're right now not in a very good position. You've allowed yourself to be in a very bad position, and he happens to be right about it.
From the very beginning of the war.
You're not in a good position. You don't have the cards right now. With us, you start having cards. But right now, you don't. You're playing cards. You're playing cards. You're gambling with the lives of millions of people. You're gambling with World War III. You're gambling with World War III. And what you're doing is very disrespectful to the country, this country, that's backed you far more than a lot of people said they should have.
Have you said thank you once? This entire meeting? No, in this entire meeting, have you said thank you? You went to Pennsylvania and campaigned for the opposition in October. Offer some words of appreciation for the United States of America and the president who's trying to save your country.
Please, you think that if you will speak very loudly about the war,
He's not speaking loudly. He's not speaking loudly. Your country is in big trouble.
Can I
Wait a minute. No. You've done a lot of talking. Your country is in big trouble.
I know.
You're not winning. You're not winning this. You have a damn good chance of coming out okay because of us.
Mr. President, we are staying in our country, staying strong from the very beginning of the war. We've been alone, and we are thankful. I said thanks
you haven't
in
been
this
alone.
cabinet,
you
and
haven't
not
been
only
alone.
in this cabinet.
We gave you, through this stupid president, $350 billion.
You voted
we gave
for
you
your
military equipment, and you men are brave, but they had to use our military.
Yes. What about
if you didn't have our military equipment,
if
you didn't have our military equipment, this war would have been over in 2 weeks.
In 3 days. I heard it from Putin. In 3 days. This is something
maybe
new.
Less.
In 2 weeks. Of course, yes.
It's going to be a very hard thing to do business like this.
Again,
I tell you.
Just say thank you.
I said a lot of times
accept that there are disagreements, and let's go litigate those disagreements rather than trying to fight it out in the American media when you're wrong. We know that you're wrong.
But you see, I think it's good for the American people to see what's going on over there.
Sir.
I think it's very important. That's why I kept this going so long. You have to be thankful. You don't have the cards.
Thankful.
You're buried there. Your people are dying.
I can tell you
You're
again,
running low on soldiers. Listen, you're running
Mr.
low
President.
on soldiers. It would be a damn good thing.
Mr.
And then you tell us, I don't want a ceasefire. I don't want a ceasefire. I want to go, and I wanted this. Look. If you could get a ceasefire right now, I tell you, you take it so the bullets stop flying and your men stop getting killed.
Of course, we want to stop the war.
But you're saying you don't want a ceasefire.
But I said to you,
I want a ceasefire.
With guarantees.
Because you'll get a ceasefire faster than an agreement.
Ask our people about ceasefire, what they think.
That wasn't with me.
For you what
that wasn't with me. That was with a guy named Biden, who was not a smart person. That was with Obama.
It was your president.
Excuse me. That was with Obama, who gave you sheets, and I gave you javelins.
Yes.
I gave you the javelins to take out all those tanks. Obama gave you sheets. In fact, the statement is Obama gave sheets and Trump gave javelins. You got to be more thankful, because let me tell you, you don't have the cards. With us, you have the cards. But without us, you don't have any cards.
One more question to Mr. Vice President. I'm sorry, here.
I have to say, this is one of the most confrontational presidential things I've ever seen. Like, they seem to be more telling him off. That's the vibe, like, that he's getting. But I can see what they're saying. Because it is a war. It's the same with the Palestine. It's like, you're not going to win that war. Like like Trump said, the only way you're going to win, the only reason that you're still alive is because of other things, because Russia could have steamrolled you. But then on the other hand, I can see what his thing is. And I don't think, like, I think if we was in that situation, or if America was in that situation, you'd want to fight too. But I can see what they're saying, that you want to bring a ceasefire. But yeah. It's going to be, yeah, Zelensky is I mean, without a doubt, he's on the losing side, and they're going to lose, and it's only going to be drawn out longer. But then you have to come to it, like, if you don't come to an agreement that's, even though it's hard, it's hard.
Tough deal to make. Because the attitudes have to change.
What if Russia breaks ceasefire? What if Russia breaks peace talks? What do you do then? I understand that it's a heated conversation right now.
What are you saying?
She's asking, what if Russia breaks the ceasefire?
What if anything? What if a bomb drops on your head right now? Okay? What if they broke it? I don't know. They broke it with Biden, because Biden, they didn't respect him. They didn't respect Obama. They respect me. Let me tell you, Putin went through a hell of a lot with me. He went through a phony witch hunt where they used him.
Did you see Zelensky's head nod then? Let's go back a little bit. Like when they said, yeah, they respect me.
I don't know. They broke it with Biden, because Biden, they didn't respect him. They didn't respect Obama. They respect me. Let me tell you, Putin went through a hell of a lot with me. He went through a phony witch hunt where they used him and Russia. You ever hear of that deal? That was a phony Hunter Biden, Joe Biden scam. Hillary Clinton, Shifty Adam Schiff. It was a Democrat scam. And he had to go through that. And he did go through it. We didn't end up in a war. And he went through it. He was accused of all that stuff. He had nothing to do with it. It came out of Hunter Biden's bathroom. It came out of Hunter Biden's bedroom. It was disgusting. And then they said, oh, the laptop from hell was made by Russia, the 51 agents. The whole thing was a scam. And he had to put up with that. He was being accused of all that stuff. All I can say is this. He might have broken deals with Obama and Bush, and he might have broken them with Biden. He did, maybe. Maybe he didn't. I don't know what happened. But he didn't break them with me. He wants to make a deal. I don't know if you can make a deal. The problem is, I've empowered you to be a tough guy. And I don't think you'd be a tough guy without the United States. And your people are very brave. But you're either going to make a deal or we're out. And if we're out, you'll fight it out. I don't think it's going to be pretty, but you'll fight it out. But you don't have the cards. But once we sign that deal, you're in a much better position. But you're not acting at all thankful. And that's not a nice thing. I'll be honest, that's not a nice thing. All right, I think we've seen enough. What do you think? Huh? This is going to be great television, I will say that. All right. We'll see what we can do about putting it together. Thank you. Guys, let's go. Guys, come on, let's go. We'll see, I don't know. All right, guys, come on. Please.
Well, he didn't kick him out. But yeah, I think the best description of Trump is from the Hodge twins. when he said Trump speaks a lot of truth. He just makes people feel like shit when he does it. And it is because, like, you always want to side with the underdog, but he's right. He's right that if America pulls out, like, it's all right, all the other world, like, who is Macron? Is he the French? I'm sure he is. But I know he come out and said he supported Zelensky, and it's like, but Russia's, like, they don't care about you either. They don't care about us. Like, they're not bothered. But Trump's right. Like, if America pulls out of that, like, if America goes from the table, then it, like you said, it's going to be you two just fight it out amongst yourselves, and you're not going to win. And it's a horrible place to be in, but it is the place you're in. You're negotiating from weakness. And that's never a good place to be. And that's why Trump can talk like he can to him, because he knows, like, what Trump is saying, like, that's what I mean. He's telling him the truth. That if America pulls out and is not back in the Ukraine, then it's just going to be an out and out bloody war. And do you think any other country is going to get involved? They may put on their social media that we stand with Zelensky, but you're not going to get involved. Yeah. And Trump's right too. There's no one that argues that I mean, that the Ukraine people are brave. But yeah, when you're dealing with a powerhouse like Russia, like, yeah, I don't really know another country that's going to bring Russia to the table other than America. But then, like I say, what would be the, if your sit down results in Russia reclaiming the Ukraine, then that's never gonna, the Ukrainian people are never going to accept that. And you can say that more lives is going to be lost if you don't accept that, but the lives that have been lost become pointless if you just give up and become, yeah, you'd have to make it so it's fair. And from what we watched before, like, the Western powers should back Ukraine for the simple fact that we denuked them under the understanding of, if Russia tests you, we'll get involved. And then they tested them and we didn't. Well, we did, but we did it very, like, behind the scenes. And but it's just a matter of fact is that no one in the West really has a back. No one is going to really, like, you think Keir Starmer is going to go to war for the Ukraine? He's not. Like, your best shot is, but then, like saying, it did feel a bit disrespectful. I will say that from both of him, from Trump and his vice. But just because he was being disrespectful, it doesn't mean what he's saying isn't true. But it did feel like they was kind of telling off a kid. And yeah. But yeah, Trump is just telling you, like, what's going to happen, and that is going to happen. That is, like, and that journalist was right too to ask, well, what if Russia breaks the ceasefire? Would you declare war on Russia? And Trump, but then Trump's right that you're playing with World War III. You're playing with the end of the world, basically. But then to the Ukrainians, if they become part of Russia again, it's going to be the end of their world anyway. Yeah, yeah. Like I say, on one hand, like I can see that they was kind of telling off. It did seem a bit like they was telling them off, but maybe it is just a case of hard truths. Yeah, yeah. I think this is the trouble as well with the West and the West media, is that there's two wars going on, and the people seem to be backing the side and trying to convince people that one side can win a war when they can't. Like, there's no way Ukraine could win that war. We couldn't even probably win that war against Russia. Like, Russia is a powerhouse. Like, it will take America to, like, say, yeah, I can see what Trump's saying that. But like I say, on the other side of it, if it's going to be that they become part of Russia again, then they're not going to have it. Unless you get to the table and you agree, because I think it was over them joining NATO, wasn't it? Or wanting to, or that was in discussion and Russia said nah. Which I can understand why Putin don't want that. But if you did that, if you said, right, Ukraine won't join NATO and Russia can't claim it, I think that's the best deal. It's like, I think the best deal you could make with Israel Palestine is to give Palestine back the land that, since, go back to Israel's original borders that was set out, give Palestine the land that's been captured since they've been beefing, give them back that land, and then, yeah, then the West can say, like that journalist said, if there's going to be a fire, like a ceasefire, and Russia breaks it, well, then if Russia breaks it, then it has to be that the whole West goes against Russia. Or if the Ukraine break it, then the West turns its back on the Ukraine and just lets Russia manhandle it. But yeah, yeah, crazy. That was a crazy scene, to be fair. Like I say, it seemed very confrontational. But like, in a Trump's right. You're not gonna win. And if America's not got your back anymore, there's nothing stopping Putin. Not the UK, not France, not no one. Yeah, Ukraine's in a bad spot. I mean, you can't help but feel bad for them, but unfortunately, no one, like, if you ask me, I think we should. But then, like Trump said, like, that's why I'm not a leader, because I would have gone to war with Russia the second they started invading, and made it clear that we ain't having that. But like Trump said, when it comes to that, you are playing with the end of the world. Like, nukes are involved, and if everyone starts throwing nukes around, well, it doesn't really matter what happens to Ukraine, because there'll be anyone left to enjoy it anyway. Yeah, this is Ukraine is the definition of being in between a rock and a hard place. Yeah, well, let me know your thoughts. But yeah, that's the reaction. Sweet.